to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first order of business tonight is a public hearing. Okay,
So it's just a public hearing to repeal and rescind local law
Right.
number one, or just to override the tax levy.
we're gonna, public hearings, proposed repeal and rescind local law number 1-2019 to override tax levy limit. Is there anyone that wants to speak on that? Kirk?
I wonder why you would ask for the budget override and then rescind it. What was the reason for that?
Well,
It's state law.
it's the state law, it's not up to the town. We do this every year, we follow the state law regarding it.
You adopt it, then you have to
We
repeal
adopted,
it.
then we have, because we didn't go over, so we repeal it. But it is the state law.
Thank you.
No one else? The motion adopt
Oh, yeah,
local law.
close first. Should have closed the public hearing.
Okay. I need a motion to close the public hearing, that the town board of the town of Windsor close the public hearing in the matter of the proposed local law entitled a local law to repeal and rescind local law 1-2019 of the town code of the town of Windsor entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law, section 3C. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Moore?
Yes. That motion, adopt local law entitled a local law to repeal and rescind local law 1-2019 of the town code of the town of New Windsor entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in the general municipal law, section 3C. That the town board, I need a motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Moore?
Yes.
It's fine.
It is so.
I know I have to do
The next portion will be public comment. Any comments on tonight's agenda? The items that are on tonight's agenda? No one wishing to speak on the comment? All right, thank you. The minutes that the town board of the town of New Windsor approve the minutes of the public hearings regarding proposed amendment to chapter 300, local law rezoning of the parcels, proposed amendment to chapter 300, zoning local law, amend table of use regulations, proposed 2020 budget, and the minutes of the town board meeting, all held on November 6, 2019, and the special town board meeting held on November 18, 2019, as per the copies posted on the town clerk's bulletin board in the town hall and same distributed to each of the town board members. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Rivendell?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Miller?
Yes. Next item, a receive and file, an order and consent to lay out lands and accept as public highways of the town. Colonist Trail, John Paul Jones Lane, and Panorama Drive, Mount Airy Estate subdivision. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file order of the town of New Windsor Highway Superintendent and the consent of the town board of the town of New Windsor for laying out of the lands in the Mount Airy Estate subdivision, commonly known as Colonist Trail, John Paul Jones Lane, and Panoramic Drive for acceptance as public highways in the town in accordance with the provision of section 171 of the New York State Highway Law and other statutes applicable hereto. Our next item is another receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file order of the town of New Windsor Highway Superintendent and consent of the Orange County Commissioner of Public Works for the abandonment to the abutting property owners a portion of the roadway which previously formed a cul-de-sac at the terminus of McKinley Court, FKA J Street in the Mount Airy Estate subdivision pursuant to New York State Highway Law, section 212A. Our next item would be a motion, resolution, whereas the town of New Windsor is the owner of a certain public highway in the town of New Windsor, commonly known as McKinley Court, and whereas said highway has been improved and there exist portions of the roadway as it existed before said improvements, which are of no further use for the highway purposes for the town. And whereas the superintendent of highways of the town of New Windsor has recommended that this portion of said highway to be abandoned, and whereas Orange County Superintendent of Highways has consented to this abandonment. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of New Windsor, pursuant to Highway Law section 212A, hereby, 1, abandon these portions of the public highway in the town of New Windsor, commonly known as the cul-de-sac for years, on McKinley Court, as recommended by the Superintendent of Highways of the town of New Windsor, and 2, authorize the supervisor to execute and acknowledge in the name of the town a quit claim deed or deeds, and deliver said deeds to the abutting owners for no consideration, as recommended by the sole assessor of the town, and 3, pursuant to New York State Highway Law section 212A, said abandonment shall take effect immediately with no further or other proceedings. A motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Rivendell?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Miller?
Yes. Hearing no objections, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file order of the town of New Windsor Highway Superintendent and consent of the town board of the town of New Windsor for laying out on the lands in the Mount Airy Estate subdivision, commonly known as Betsy Ross Ridge, Hamilton Way, and McKinley Court, for acceptance as public highways in the town, in accordance with the provisions of section 171 of New York State highway law and other statutes applicable hereto. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file consent of the town board of the town of New Windsor and order of the town of New Windsor highway superintendent for acceptance of the following roads in Rakowicki's subdivision as public highways: Finley Drive, Ashley Court, Ridgeview Drive. Our next item will be a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor hereby grant, release, terminate, and quit claim onto the property owners identified in the resolution attached hereto all said lands identified as temporary easement, and only a temporary easement over portions of lots number 14, 15, and 16 described in deed library 12042 at page 0657, and further authorize the town supervisor to execute a termination of temporary easement in any and all documents necessary to terminate said temporary easement in accordance with the resolution attached hereto. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstedt?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Morales?
Yes. Receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file the letter of credit number 99314470 from the Wallkill Valley Federal Savings and Loan Association dated December 3, 2019 in the amount of $117,962.35 for Highview of Orange, Inc. to serve as the performance bond for the public improvements located in the Highview of Orange, Inc. subdivision on Hill Road in the town of New Windsor, PB 18-04. This is a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor authorize the supervisor to execute change order number 1, Subsurface Technologies, Inc., for a credit with regarding to item C1, additional brushing and purging, as well as additional cost for Keller micro-level transducer, resulting in a total change order credit of $103 on the Butterhill Water Well Supply well number 2 column and bowl replacement project. Said change order shall be in a form acceptable to the town attorney and with the approval of the town engineer. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstedt?
Yes.
Councilman, Deputy Supervisor Morales?
Yes. Another motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor authorize final payment in the sum of $21,157 to Subsurface Technologies, Inc. for the Butterhill Water Supply System Well number 2 pump column and bowl replacement project pursuant to recommendation of McGoey, Hauser, and Excel Consulting Engineers, DPC, attached hereto. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstedt?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Morales?
Yes. Receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file Amendment Number 1 to Cooperative Agreement between New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the Town of New Windsor, effective May 18, 2018 to September 30th, 2020, for the design and installation of a GAC system at the coal well. Our next item will be a motion that the town board of the Town of New Windsor hereby authorize the town supervisor to execute a short environmental assessment form pertaining to a proposed sewer reallocation agreement with Buda Creek Development and the Town of Cornwall. Determine the proposed agreement will not have a sufficient adverse impact on the environmental, and thus issue a negative declaration regarding same, and further authorize the town supervisor to execute said agreement, which would increase capacity available to the Town of New Windsor and increase in the per gallon rate to developers interested in obtaining rights to such capacity from $12 gallon to $16 gallon, in accordance with the resolution attached hereto. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Moore?
Yes. The next item, receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the Town of New Windsor receive and file certification of allocation for Buda Creek Development Ltd. to Mid-Hudson Number 2 Holding Company, Inc., consented to by the Town of New Windsor on September 12, 2019, and sewer allocation agreement between the Town of New Windsor and Mid-Hudson Number 2 Holding Company, Inc., dated October 3rd, 2019, for 14,500 GPD of sewer capacity to serve the site of the proposed Lafayette Ridge apartment located on Lafayette Drive, New Windsor, New York, and identified on the Town of New Windsor tax maps as Section 48, Block 2, Lots 5 and 7, and Section 81, Block 1, Lot 2. Next item to receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the Town of New Windsor receive and file with the town clerk, Region Hour PC, independent accountant's report on applying agreed upon proceeds as of December 31st, 2018. Our next item is another receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the Town of New Windsor receive and file intermunicipal agreement between County of Orange and Town of New Windsor, dated November 7th, 2019, for the control of snow and ice on certain county roads for the term October 1, 2019 through April 30th, 2020. Our next item is a motion that the town board of the Town of Windsor authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement attached hereto between the Town of New Windsor and the New Windsor Volunteer Ambulance Corps, Inc., for the provision of ambulance services and pre-hospital emergency treatment. Said agreement effective from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. Motion,
Move. Second.
roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilor Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Morgan?
Yes. Next item is another motion. Whereas the County of Orange has funds to be distributed to local law enforcement agencies for the purpose of conducting enforcement activities related to the Stop DWI program for the year 2019-2020, and whereas the town of New Windsor does wish to participate in said program. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of New Windsor approve the receipt of said funds on behalf of the town of New Windsor Police Department from the County of Orange, and authorize the chief of police or his designee to execute all necessary contracts and documentation with regards to the available funds. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Morgan?
Yes. Next item is a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor hereby adjourn the public hearing to consider a proposed amendment to the zoning code of the town of New Windsor to amend the table of use regulations to allow mini warehouses by special use permit in the neighborhood commercial and C zoning district, and direct the town clerk to re-advertise this matter for a public hearing to be held on January 15, 2020 at 555 Union Avenue, New Windsor, New York, at 7 p.m. in accordance with the resolution attached hereto. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor
Yes.
Morgan?
Our next item is a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor authorize the establishment of performance bond for public improvements in the Lafayette Ridge Apartments project, planning board number 16-18, in the amount of $134,893,000, plus an inspection fee of $5,395.72, representing 4% of the performance bond amount, as recommended by McGoey, Hauser, and Etzel Consulting Engineers, DPC, by correspondence dated the 11th November 2019, a copy of which is attached hereto. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Morgan?
Yes. Next item is also a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor close the hearing concerning the demolition of an unsafe building located at 202 Passaic Avenue, New Windsor, New York, SBL 19-4-63, NKA SBL 19-4-62.2. Take no further action regarding said hearing. Authorize the supervisor to execute consent to discontinue and cancel les pendants on any and all documents necessary to effectuate the release of same from record, and further direct the town attorney to file said consent to discontinue and cancel les pendants with the Orange County clerk, and take other means necessary to effectuate the release of said les pendants, record of 202 Passaic Avenue, New Windsor, New York, SBL 19-4-63, NKA SBL 19-4-64.2, in accordance with the resolution attached here too. A motion, please?
Move. Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegelbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Woods?
Yes. That property will now be our new store. Next item is a motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor authorize the transfer of $51,000 from the New Windsor Woodlawn Cemetery Investment Fund to the general fund pursuant to the attached memorandum received from the town's controller's office dated November 26, 2019. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegelbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Woods?
Yes. Next item is to receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file stipulation of discontinuance with purchase against defendant, town of New Windsor, in the matter of Magden Condomex Corporation versus Titan Demolition and Salvage LLC, Rick Matera, Townsman Casualty Insurance Company LLC, and the town of New Windsor. Our next item is the motion that the town board of the town of New Windsor authorize payment for satisfaction of in the matter of Magnum Condomex Corporation versus Titan Demolition and Salvage LLC, Rick Matera, Townsman Casualty Insurance Company LLC, and the town of New Windsor in the sum of $51,000 payable in accordance with the general release and settlement attached here too. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riegelbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Munster?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Woods?
Yes. Our next item is to receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file notice of claim in the matter of John and Heather O'Malley, Keith Peloso, William McCracken, and Cynthia Lakeord, and John and Joanne Ardez, William Ick, and Ronald Eaton versus the town of New Windsor Planning Board et al. For an order annulling and vacating the conditional site plan approval approved filed by the town of New Windsor Planning Board with the town of New Windsor Town Clerk on October 21, 2019 for the project commonly known as Stewart Hill Industrial Park. Our next item is a receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file original letter of credit number 99317698 from Walker Valley Federal Savings and Loan dated November 22, 2019 in the amount of $639,477.03 for Greens at Woodbury LLC to serve as the performance bond for the public improvements in the Meadowbrook Major Subdivision Phase 2, Planning Board number 01-42. Another receive and file. Hearing no objection, the town board of the town of New Windsor receive and file maintenance bond number 0685391M from International Fidelity Insurance Company in the amount of $91,347,000 for Phase 9 J Street of the Mount Airy Estate subdivision as authorized by the town board on November 6, 2019. Next are the official reports. Town clerk's report for the month of November 2019. Tax receiver, water, sewer, and garbage, month of November 2019. Justice Court, George Myers, month of November 2019. Justice Court, Noreen Calderon, month of November 2019. Recreation Department, month of November 2019. And the Police Department, month of November 2019. Before I open up for the public forum, is there anything from the town board?
No.
Madam Chairman, if I may, just one quick message. I have found it to be an honor and a privilege to serve the residents of the town of Windsor for the last 12 years, and I considered it an extreme privilege to serve with the board that we currently have. I've told people before on numerous occasions that this board is a board of exception, is that there are no egos that take place in this board meeting. There are no hidden agendas. Everything that we've done for what we believe is in the benefit of the residents of our community. And to be honest, we've accomplished some we've undertaken some major actions that have improved the lives of our residents. One of them is the Butterhill Well, which has now been online for almost a month. And the cemetery that we took over, just some of the shining examples of what a board that knows how to work together can get accomplished. And one thing that I've learned, and it has been a very great learning experience for me, is that this town board has not backed down from any controversial issues. We faced it head on, and to be honest, we have made the tough decisions that needs to be made for the benefit of our residents. And I also want to thank our supervisor, George Green, for spearheading that. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Ken. Anyone from the audience speak on that? Okay. I'll take a motion to close the public forum, that the town board of the town of New Windsor close the public forum portion of the meeting. Motion, please.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Riggenbach?
Yes.
Councilman Woodson? Deputy Supervisor?
Yes. Before I adjourn the meeting, I just want to say it's been my privilege to serve the town for 24 years. I know it's been a long time, and I've learned a lot. I think we've accomplished a lot, and all I can say is God bless the town of Windsor. Thank you very much. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the town board of the town of Windsor at 25 to 8.
So moved.
35.
Second.
Roll call.